Hey, this is Brian from Wright732.com and fitin.com, PHITIN.com. So, all of us have stress. We all deal with it differently. Some people, get stiff necks. Some people can't sleep. Some people get nauseous. I get stomach aches. My stomach bothers me when I get stressed. Everybody has weird, ways for it. It's amazing what our mind can do to our body. If we don't process, the way stress hits us, it can absolutely physically manifest within us. So with that being said, I want to talk about something that was pretty reoccurring for me in stressful situations. So if you don't know me, I was a professional fighter for a very long time. So I have a lot of fights basically. And there's one common theme in all my fights. No matter where in the world I fought, no matter what kind of fighting I was doing, and no matter how old I've been, I've always ended up in the bathroom before one of my fights. So I go to the venue, I get myself established with my space. I get all my stuff set up. I have my team with me, whatever. And then as we get closer, my stomach will start to bug me because I'm starting to get a little bit more stressed out because I've got to fight. So I end up in the bathroom. And so I'm sitting there taking a poop. And I always have this one thought. Would anyone notice if I never came out of here or if I snuck out the back door? Every time. No joke. Every time. End up, go take a poop and decide, could I just hide in the bathroom for the remainder of this and then act like what? I don't know what happened, or sneak out the back door and basically move to another state, change my name, and, just not have to deal with the repercussions of backing out of whatever commitment I had made. Now, fighting is a very, very intense, different scenario than what, most people go through, but it is basically an intensity. It's what you go through on a daily basis, just a little bit more super focused. Now, remember with a fight, most times you have a bunch of time to prepare. You know who you're going to fight, or you know what event you're going to, and you have an idea of who's going to be there and what's going on. So you have time to prepare yourself. So you spend a lot of time, usually 6 to 8 weeks, training really hard and focusing on something. And that focus and that training and that time, it can really get in your head, and you're going to have a roller coaster ride. I mean, I had to take a break at one point in my career because the roller coaster literally was physically breaking me. Like my mind and my body were having trouble dealing with the ups and downs and the stress of fighting. So it's just take your daily stress of what you do and give it some steroids, and that's the kind of stress a fighter goes through every single time. So when you see fighters making big money, I want you to understand that the money they're making really will never be enough considering what they physically do to themselves when they fight, but more importantly, what they do to themselves mentally and physically as they prepare for a fight. And remember something about fighting. Fighting is something that we as individuals that do it have our own personal reasons for it, but the reason you watch is because you want to be entertained. So this is not like a movie. This is not like a TV drama. This is literally two people getting into a ring or a cage and doing combat against each other, causing bodily harm and, doing irreparable harm at times for your entertainment. So that's a whole another topic. My main point that I'm trying to get across here is that fighting is just super intense version of what you do on a daily basis. And when I ended up in the bathroom contemplating, fight or flight, as they say, it's the same process that you probably go through. It can be multiple times throughout a day when you're hit with a challenge. Now, you have three answers when that question arises of what the hell am I supposed to do? What did I just get myself into? How am I going to deal with this thing that's getting in my face? What am I going to do? So you can either quit, you can coast, or you can go for it. Now, the quitting part's real simple. You walk away, you stop, you give in, whatever. The coasting aspect's a weird one. So think about this as a fighter. If you're in the ring, you have an opportunity to go for it or quit, but you also can pretty much survive and just see what happens. This happens all the time in our daily life, where it's like we don't really take effort, take action either direction. We kind of sit and we wait to see what happens. And it's not really a tactical waiting. It's I don't know what to do, so I'm just not going to do anything, and I hope it really works out. So that's like let's wait and see. And then you have the other end, which is you can go for it. And you can decide the course of action, or you can decide that what result you want to achieve, and then you throw everything you've got into it, and you do everything you can to work towards it. Now, this is the translation of my early life into my later life. Experiences like this, those pre-moments before a major event, have given me an understanding of myself so that no matter what comes my way, it doesn't matter. My kid could be itching at 2 o'clock in the morning because he has eczema. I have to get up and help him. Or I have to go into work when I'm exhausted, or I have to hold pads when, my back is still bothering me, or I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, whatever. There's no excuses. When a job has to get done, I have the ability to pick myself up and get to work. That comes from the experiences that I had in my younger years as an athlete. I trained myself to respond to the stress and the fear and the anxiety and all the things that came along with basically one-on-one combat. I trained myself to respond in a positive way to these things. That has translated into much success in my life, and it has given me the ability to flat out say my greatest strength is that I don't quit. So for me, I would rather die trying than quit. I don't walk away from things. I don't give up on things. At times it's to my self-detriment. At times it's to my, overall value. So I have micro situations where I don't quit, which eventually adds up into macro success. So for all of us, we're not afforded the opportunity to maybe do something external like fighting, but we all have opportunities every day to train ourselves to respond to what could be considered negative or stressful stimulus the way that we want. So you got to understand the human body, the mind responds immediately. The first thing that we go into self-preservation mode. So our body and our mind try and shut us down so we don't do something that's, could potentially be harmful. It's a defense mechanism that we've got. And how we handle that defense mechanism is going to decide what the next step is. So you can't sit there and go, I'm weak because I'm having this weird situation come about. Me sitting on the toilet pooping before a fight because I'm scared, that is good. Dealing with that fear put me in the best possible situation to go out and do the job I had to do. So that stress and that weird feeling you're getting and those crazy thoughts about all the things you didn't do or how you're not prepared or any of that stuff, that's amazing stuff. You have to embrace that. You have to deal with that. And then you have to decide how you're going to act going forward. And it's all just dealing with our humanity. It's dealing with our biology, our psychology, all of that stuff. As human beings, we all deal with it. There's not a person I know that doesn't go out to speak in front of a group of people that doesn't drop a few drops of sweat or has to go have a meeting with the boss that doesn't feel like they're going to see the principal back when they were in like 5th grade and they did something wrong. Everyone has these weird feelings. And you have to just accept them as normal. Don't try and act like there's this monster situation that you have to fix. You just say, okay, fine, I'm at the choice point. So what am I going to do? Am I going to quit? Am I going to coast? Or am I going to go for it? It's really that simple. Now, you may want to quit or you may want to coast, but you should go for it. So the more times you go for it instead of doing what you want, now going for it will eventually become the habit of choice and will become the thing you actually want to do because you're starting to really understand the value of going for it versus the negative concept of quitting or coasting. And this is all internal, by the way. This is just you versus you stuff because I don't care what you can say to me or what actions you may take and how I interpret them. You're the one who knows. Did you quit? Did you coast? Or did you go for it? That is truly you in your brain. Because I have half-assed it at times, meaning I've coasted, and people are thinking that I'm going for it. But I'm basically tricking them so that I can at least deal with them. But when I'm alone and I got to deal with myself, I remember what I did and I know what I did. And that has a really great effect on me, and then I have to deal with that. So the less times I coast or quit, the better, because it's less opportunity for me to get down on myself or judge myself in a negative light. I know the importance of my understanding of myself, my view of myself, and how that really impacts my confidence, my self-esteem, and whatever. So, I'm introspective enough to really be honest and truthful with everything I do. And I also have a long-term vision, so I understand how my actions are going to impact my ability to act, the aggressive way I want or the freedom of action that I need to be successful down the road. So the main point here is that we all have our battles. We all have our fights. Some of us actually fight. Some of us just deal with small moments throughout the day that are going to require for us to make choices and have to deal with fear and anxiety and stress and all that stuff. So don't act like it's a problem. You don't have an anxiety issue. You have a response problem. You have a defining problem. So again, don't make this into something it doesn't need to be. Look at the 3 options that you have: quit, coast, or go. I hope you choose go, because I want you to wake up when you're 80 years old and not wish you went and not be pissed off that you quit so many times. Go more than you quit. Try not to coast. Be a little bit more definitive. Either do it or don't do it. Don't be in the middle. In the middle is where the problems are. Quitting is not really great either, but going for it is always better. I would rather go for it and fail than not do anything and just stay with the masses that watch other people go for it. But that's me. You may be different. I don't know. But if you truly want to be successful, you've got to create the habit of going for it when faced with fear, adversity, anxiety, and stress and all these things. And minimize these words, these definitions, and get in the habit of doing and acting and moving forward, and not sitting around thinking about our past all the time and trying to fix it. That past is going to smash you in the face the minute you get stressed. You don't need to put it aside. You just have to process it and use it as fuel for action. All right? I hope I got my point across. Have a good day.